The wind howls across a frozen expanse, tearing through the grasslands now buried beneath ice. Figures move slowly against the white horizon wrapped in furs, stitched from the hides of mammoths and aurochs, their breath rising like smoke into the bitter air. This is not merely a hunt, it is a march of survival. Fire smolders in the hands of one elder, the flame shielded by a hollowed horn. Every step forward is a gamble between life and extinction. And here lies the haunting question: what if humans had not survived this endless winter, this brutal ice age? What world would remain in their absence? A small band of Homo erectus pushes through the storm, their bodies hunched, their eyes scanning for shelter. The eldest woman clutches a bundle wrapped in skin, the tribe's last embers, the essence of fire carried across miles of frozen wasteland. Behind her, a young hunter shoulders a sharpened stone axe, his arms trembling not only from the cold, but from the burden of protecting those too young to defend themselves. Snow drives against their faces, needles of ice stinging their skin. The ground trembles with distant thunder, not of the sky, but of the mammoths, trudging nearby shadows in the fog, colossal beasts that could mean both food and death. The hunters gesture silently, spreading out their eyes, never leaving the herd. Hunger gnaws deeper than the cold, and desperation drives courage. The leader grips his spear, carved from bone and tipped with a chipped flint. He lunges forward, with others driving the mammoths toward a pit concealed by the snow. The earth shudders as a giant bull crashes into it, trumpeting in rage and terror. But victory turns to disaster. The mammoth thrashes, scattering hunters, one body hurled lifeless against the frozen ground. The tribe reels in horror, their triumph dripping away like the blood steaming against the snow. The storm thickens, devouring sound and sight. A rival band emerges from the haze, gaunt faces, hollow eyes, bones clutched as weapons. They too hunger, they too seek survival. For a moment, time freezes. Two tribes mirrored in desperation stare across the white void. The dead mammoth between them is no longer food, but a battlefield. They collide not with words, but with blows, stone against bone. Cries lost in the blizzard. Children wail as mothers clutch them tighter, retreating into the storm, while warriors fall upon each other. Blood stains the snow, dark as night, a grim offering to the Ice Age. When the battle ends, silence returns, broken only by the groan of the dying mammoth. The victors stagger forward, their faces marked by frost and grief, dragging the carcass closer to their shelter. Yet survival has cost them dearly. Half their kin lie still in the snow. The storm has taken its share, the mammoth has taken its share, and the rival tribe has taken its share. But the embers still glow, the fire still lives, carried by trembling hands into the darkness of a nearby cave. Inside walls glisten with frost, but soon flames lick upward, shadows dance, and warmth returns. For a fleeting moment, laughter cracks the silence. A child gnaws at roasted marrow, while the elders place healing herbs over wounds. The fire glows brighter, not only as light, but as memory proof that against the cruelty of the Ice Age they endure. The night outside howls with unrelenting fury, snow swirling like ghosts across the mouth of the cave. Inside, the tribe gathers close bodies pressed together in a circle of survival. The fire burns low, fed by splintered bones and scraps of frozen wood scavenged from the tundra. Shadows leap against the stone walls, stretching long and sharp, as if spirits of the fallen hunters still linger to witness the fragile warmth. Hunger gnaws, despite the feast of marrow, for one mammoth is never enough. and the cold consumes more than food can replace. The elder rises slowly, her back bent like a branch under ice. She sprinkles crushed herbs into a shallow bowl, mixing them with melted snow collected in a large leaf. She dabs the bitter paste onto the gaping wounds of the survivors. Their faces twist in pain, but they do not cry out. Every scar is a reminder, every injury another stitch in the tapestry of survival. She hums low and rhythmic, a sound older than words meant to still the trembling of children and steady the hearts of warriors. At dawn, the storm calms, revealing a landscape sculpted by ice and silence. The hunters emerge blinking against the pale glare of the frozen world. Their footprints vanish quickly under drifting snow, as though the earth itself seeks to erase them. They set out toward the river valley, hoping for game, hoping for salvation. Their tools clink softly against stone belts, hand axes, scrapers, and bone needles carried in hides. Each item is precious, each a lifeline hammered from ingenuity. But survival is never simple. At the river's edge, danger waits. Wolves prowl the banks, gaunt and driven by the same hunger that haunts the tribe. Their eyes glow yellow tails, low bodies, circling in silence. The leader signals with a sharp motion of his hand, the tribe forming a half-circle, spears raised. The wolves lunge, a blur of fur and teeth. Men and beasts collide, snow flying in violent arcs. One hunter is dragged down his screams, muffled by the pack, but the others retaliate, driving stone into flesh, blood steaming in the cold air. The surviving wolves scatter shadows, vanishing into the trees. The hunters breathe raggedly, their bodies trembling not from cold, but from the rush of life and death. They drag their fallen kin back toward the cave, his lifeless body laid gently upon the snow. Grief grips them, yet their faces remain hard. In this age, mourning is brief, because survival allows no luxury of endless sorrow. The wolves' carcasses are skinned quickly, their hides taken for warmth, their flesh cut for food. Even death must serve the living. As the day wanes, the tribe trudges back to the cave carrying both burden and sustenance. The fire roars brighter, with fresh fuel, the smell of roasting meat filling the cavern. Children chew hungrily, eyes wide with relief. But beyond the cave's mouth, the horizon shifts, storm clouds gather once again heavy with snow and thunder. The Ice Age gives no reprieve, only trials upon trials. The storm returns with merciless strength, battering the cave walls with sheets of ice. The tribe huddles closer, clutching the embers of warmth, as if holding the last heartbeat of their kind. Outside, the mammoths march onward, their colossal shadows fading into the blizzard, indifferent to the struggles of smaller beings. Time itself feels frozen. Every breath, a contest against the suffocating cold. Yet within the flickering firelight, life persists. The youngest of the tribe, barely able to walk, toddles toward the flames, his tiny hands reaching. A mother pulls him back, gently wrapping him tighter in furs. His innocent eyes reflect the blaze, unaware that his fragile existence carries the weight of an entire lineage. Should he survive, his descendants may someday walk out of this ice age into a future filled with stories, tools, and civilizations. But should he falter, all threads of possibility unravel into silence. The hunters prepare once more, sharpening stones against bone, their faces marked by exhaustion, but also defiance. Tomorrow, they will follow the mammoth herd again, risking everything to secure one more victory against the cold. Every plan carries danger, the chance of falling prey to beasts, of succumbing to frost, of clashing with rival bands desperate for the same prize. Yet, hesitation is death, and so they press on, united by hunger, bound by hope. As night deepens, the tribe gathers for a final ritual of the day. The elder sprinkles crushed fibres into the fire, releasing a fragrance that rises into the cave like a prayer. Shadows dance across the walls, shapes that echo hunters, beasts, and storms. For a fleeting moment, the fire transforms into memory, a vision of survival stretching beyond the Ice Age. A whisper that one day their kind might conquer not only the cold, but the earth itself. The flames crackle, the storm rages, and still they endure. Their laughter, though faint, pierces the night, as marrow is shared, as wounds are bound, as children drift into uneasy dreams. Against the vast cruelty of the Ice Age, their story is not yet over. But imagine if one ember had died, if one child had not survived, if one battle had been lost, humanity might never have risen at all. The world would belong to ice and silence, untouched by the hands of man. And so survival here is not just survival. It is the birth of destiny. From the storm and the hunger, from the fire and the bone, humanity was carved into being. The Ice Age tried to erase us, yet each ember carried forward became a spark of destiny. Survival was not just endurance. It was the first step toward memory, toward story, toward civilization. Without those who defied the cold, there would be no us to remember.